Actually, professor will be late for class today, so until then I will be doing this exercise lab, which is database programming. So before that, can you guys please log into your GCP? So we'll be creating a sample table to apply our for this exercise lab. So you guys have created a SQL instance in your GCP? So you guys can connect to your SQL instance using your command prompt. So you guys know about the command for connecting to the SQL instance, which is there in the lab book. So I'll be writing this command. Just you can use this command to connect to your SQL instance. So type your password and it will be connected to your SQL instance. So
excuse me, Mommy.
Yes.
If I didn't have enough credit, I cannot.
No, you cannot.
Yeah.
So you can use this SQL command to check what are the databases available in your SQL instance. So these are the databases available in my SQL instance. So I will be using this test database for creating tables in it. So to use that, you have to use this command. Okay, now I'll create a table called test tool. You can just follow my command. So this is similar to an employee table where it has ID and username in it. So ID int. So we have created a table. Now we can insert data into the table so that we can get it from our application. So So I'm going to insert one more data. Yeah, now you can view your data in the data in your table. So let's start from test. So these are the values I have inserted in my table. So now we have created a table and we have inserted values in it. So we will be creating a sample program to access these data from our program. So who are all going to use Java in your project 2? Only one. And who are all going to use C#?
PHP.
You can use PHP. So I will not be covering PHP in this exercise lab. So I'll be covering Java, C# and Python. So who are going to use Python? Okay. So first I will be covering Java. So you are the only one who is going to use Java, right? So are you using Eclipse or NetBeans? Okay. So before creating a project, just we need to download our MySQL connector from this link so that we can use it in our program to access our MySQL database. So if you are using Linux, you have to download the first one, which is the tar file, and if it's Windows, then you have to download the second one. So once you have downloaded it, so this is the file which you have downloaded. So you have to copy this file, extract this file, and you have to place it in your Java bin directory, which will be present in program files, JDK, and you have to in JDK you have to place this MySQL connector, so that only then it will work for your project. So now you have to create a new project, name it. So create a package. Now create a class for now in this copy. Before doing that, then you have to do this step. Right click on your project to if it so right click on your project, go to build path, add libraries. Add external libraries. External archive. So we have to select this one, which we have downloaded and we have pasted in our JDK folder. So you have to add this jar file so that your program will work. You can use your MySQL commands and those stuff to connect with your MySQL database. So now copy this. So the one which I have highlighted here is for Oracle database, so you don't need to use that. So just copy this. So So are you going to use web application, create a web application or just a desktop application? Web application, okay. So I won't be covering web application here in this exercise lab, so you know how this code works, right? Or you want me to explain? No? So the error is you have not imported so you have to use this import statement to use your commands in it. So if you run this one, so I'm going to change my instance details. So which is so you have to mention here which database you want to use in your project. So which is just two. And your username and password which you will be entering here. So which here. So if you run this, so yeah, so you have to give your username and password for your SQL instance. So I've used a table name instead of database name, so that's why it's.
So you are connecting through the IP before? So which IP you use?
This IP is for my SQL instance. You have to use your SQL instance.
Yeah. Which is IP4, isn't it? IP4.
So this is your IP address here.
IP address.
So this is how you have to do for Java. You have to first import the MySQL connector and then you have to use it. So next we will be covering Python. So those guys who are going to use Python, you have installed Django, right? So for creating a project, you have to use this command for Django admin start project command and what project name you want to give it to your project. So you have to use that, and you have to mention the, and it will be automatically created in the current working directory. So I'll limit at just one test. Yeah, just created now. So this will be your project directory, which this is the main directory where you will be setting your SQL instances and URLs you want to reroute to from your application. So let me open this one. So which Python version are you using? Are you using 3 or 2.7? 3, right? So this is where you have to if you want to use your own databases, then you have to use this database list, a dictionary where you can set your own database instances like IP addresses of your database. So it will be in the So by default, it will Python Django uses SQLite. If you want to use MySQL, then you have to use this one here. So you have to copy all this and so which database you are going to use? In my case, it's test and your username and password. The default code is 3306. You don't need to change that. So save it. Yeah, then you have to create an app in your project. So go to your project directory. So this is your project directory. From here you can use this command to create an application where that application will talk to your database. Yeah. Now your app is created. So these are the, all of the things you are doing, you have to do it in this views folder. And if you are creating a model, a model is like a Python representation of a database table, which is MySQL table instance. Okay. So whenever you create a new app, you have to mention it in the settings file. So only then the Django server will identify, okay, this is the app you have created. Otherwise, it will throw you an error. Okay. So that thing you have to do it in the settings .py file. So you have to include that app in this variable, which is just. Otherwise, your Django will not identify what app is it, whether it is present or not. So once you have installed, then next step is you have to create your model for your database table. So we'll open our. So whatever you have to keep the same column which you have created in the table. Otherwise, it won't detect it. It will throw error. So these are our columns in my database, which is ID and name. So this class represents our database, which is test in my case. So you have to give the same name, and for the table, you have to give the same name as the table name which you have created in MySQL in my instant index. So once you are done with this, then again you have to create your view where every request from the Django application will go to the view. Then view will return, it will interact with the database using the model which you have created, and from there it will return a HTML page as a response for your request. So I'll be using So I will import my model here. Just you guys can understand this code, right? How this works. Mhm. So this function will return a HTML page called home.html. Then because now we have not created anything, any HTMLs here, so you have to create one more folder where it contains all the HTML files which your app will return in case of a request. In case of a request, yeah. So now create a folder here called template and create a HTML here called home.html, which is there in this method, so that it will check and it gives give this HTML as the response for your request. So we can create a basic HTML tag which just displays the result from the So actually this function, it's returning a context variable which contains the ID and username, I mean the ID from the first row and the name from the first row, and this context will be passed to the HTML HTML file, where you can use the Django syntax to get that context data from the context variable, which is So this is the syntax if you want to just display the data from the Django function. So here so you have this user ID and username as two keys in this dictionary. So you can use the same there in the HTML file. So and if it's more than one data, then you have to do it in a loop. So most of the work is done. Then now the problem is how your Django application will find this HTML file from your directory. So you have to include that directory in your settings folder. Only then it will find this HTML file and it returns as a response for your request. For that, you have to just copy this directory data into your settings file. Yeah. Initially, it will be empty, so you have to mention your directory here. now we will find every HTML files in this directory templates, which is there in which we have created here in our project. So the next step is now now you have to configure your URL patterns in this Django file, so that when you are typing this just the the IP address, the Django you have to tell your Django application which URL you have to look into, and that URL will be connected to your functions in the views, so that all operations will be done there, and you'll get the HTML page as your response. So that URL pattern you have to do it in the URL files which is present in the your project root directory. So this is the file where you have to configure your URLs. So which function you want to route to for your basic URL pattern. So this is the function which returns this home.html, right? So in the IP address, if you are typing home, then that IP address will be routed to this function where it returns the home.html page. So if it doesn't find any patterns in your, if you have not set any URL patterns in url.py file, then you will get an error like there are no URLs like here in your application. So you have to do that in your urls.py file. So it's like explicitly you are creating a URLs here. So I'm creating a URL called home. So your first IP address will be automatically assigned from your Django default development environment. So after that, if you provide